Right, students, another week 10. This week is week 10 already. Okay, I know many of you are getting busier with many assignments due coming to due, and also you have your FYP. Some of you asked me about FYP also, but not related to this subject, but about mobile app. So first thing first, let us have some idea on our coming week's deadline. Right, I don't like to talk about deadline, but deadline is there in life. We cannot run away from deadline. Okay, we have done this assignment 1. I have uploaded the marks here. We just have a look the marks here on Moodle, and then the coming Monday next week. Next Monday we are going to have our assignment 2 due. That is on the navigation and also the UI in Android Studio. So you just replicate what you have done in the mockup in assignment 1 into your assignment 2, which is in real app, Android app. Okay, let us see how many have submitted. So far, I've received 1 submission. So this submission is for next Monday. Let me see, Monday 12. I'll need to revise this time later. So let me change the time. The time would be next Monday, 6, which is not 12 lah. This one I think I need to put it. I put it at 5, 5 p.m. afternoon, evening, next Monday. Next Monday we have class, right? Next Monday, okay. So I put it at 6, at the end of the class. Not fair, at the end of the class, the deadline. Next Monday, and after that we have to move on to assignment 3. Assignment 3. So assignment 3 would be still the same app, but add in functionality. For example, storage. Or maybe you want to connect your app to a remote API. Of course, we haven't touched it in the class, but you have to learn it beforehand. I can tell you that to connect to the server side, you can use a library such as retrofit. Retrofit, you can write down later. I will write down later. Retrofit, and also maybe Volley, or maybe some other third-party library that you might want to use, or local storage. In next week, in the coming week, we are going to learn Room database, which is SQL-like. In Android, we actually use local database. Normally, we use SQL-like. That is locally available in Android phone. So any phone installed with Android, right? Any Android phone that is installed, you can actually use Room database for storage. Even though we haven't learned, maybe you can learn ahead of time. I will put some sample code first on Moodle, right? So that you can go ahead and learn it first, if you have time. Give me a bit of time. I will arrange, tidy out some code and then put it on Moodle. Even though we haven't come to that, but in order to do assignment 3, it depends on where you want to store your data. Data includes data such as user, right? User info, the login, username, password, right? Profile data, profile information. When you do registration, you do login, you need data, right? Information. So currently, for the mockup, it's just dummy. You hardcore it. But when you come to assignment 3, you have to have some place to store the data, right? So we can have local storage or remote storage, right? So we also have check-in history, right? When people scan. So the QR code scan, I'll teach together, also together with next week. So user info, right? Check-in history and things like that, right? So we need to have some place to, basically these two for this assignment, basically the user info, check-in history, or maybe some statistical data. So you want to retrieve from a remote server statistics, some real statistics. For example, you can use Volley or Retrofit. This is for networking from remote server, right? Remote API. I can get you some I don't know whether it's still there or not. I have to check later the remote API that you can use. You can actually retrieve some COVID data from there, networking, using retrofit or volley, both also can. And then locally, when you want to store data locally, then you can use room or you can use shared preference. But the purpose of using shared preferences is normally for small piece of data that you want to store as a key value pair in the file. So shared preference, or you might want to use room SQLite. So this one is local and also networking remotely. I think this would be enough for you. If you learn, you know how to do, it will be enough for you to do assignment 3, to pass assignment 3. Assignment 3 will be that, to add in functionality. If you are really good, you can also develop your own remote server. You might not want to use it from using mock API, right? You can use mock API to mock up what you want. There's website to do that, mock up, or you can develop your own server side, cloud server, or you can do a locally host server, right? So that would be the part that you can do for the data, how you want to keep the data, how you want to mock up the data for your app. Because mobile app is just a client app, client app. Okay, so let's move on. So this is assignment 3. So assignment 3, tentatively, we are going to have the deadline for assignment 3 by 1st of July, around week 14, 1st of July. And afterwards, we will have the fully done app 1 week later. About the same time, but 1 week later. This is week 15. The week 15 already. So this one should be week 14, and this is week 15. Okay, let me check the calendar. Today is week 10. Week 10. Yeah, week 15. Week 15. This is week 14. Okay, so about presentation, I would like to discuss with you about the presentation. Currently, I've already tried to go through the number of groups that we have. Right, the presentation, it's hard to do it on one day. It has to be on 2 different days there are so many groups. For a day, just within a day, we can only tackle half of the class. So there is a possibility that we might need to do the presentation on 2 different weeks. But this may not be, I don't know whether some of you have enough time to prepare for it or not, because this is difference by 1 week. So if we are going to do it near to each other, right? Let's say Monday and another day, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, then we might need to actually maybe week 14 we may not have class, and then week 15 we have 2 class, right? In order to do the presentation. So I want to ask from your opinion whether you have time or not. Week 14, if you want to do the presentation on week 14, then another half of the class will do it on week 15, or vice versa. We can do it both on week 14 for two days, and then we don't have time. We don't have class on week 15. Meaning week 15, I'll leave it to you to tidy up your assignment for submission. We can do both session. We have session 1, session 2, both on the same week. Then it'll be fair, It'll be fair, but it'll be different by 1 or 2 days, right? So that after the presentation, the other day we have another half of the groups doing another half of the presentation, right? So I'd like to get your opinion from you. Which would be a better arrangement? Because if we do it like 2 weeks, is it fine for you? Some of the groups will do it on week 14. Another half of the groups, right, will do it on week 15. Which will be is it okay for you or not? You have different weeks, meaning some of the groups they have 1 week less time to do the preparation, but once you settle it, you are free. You have additional time to do your assignment, other assignment, your FYP, and so on, and to prepare for your final exam. after you present on week 14, or the other half of the students will need to endure, will wait for another 1 week before they present. I can reshuffle the group based on your availability. This is just tentative. This is just tentative. Arrangement because I don't know about your availability. I just arrange it on Monday where we have the class time. Assuming we use our class time for presentation, this is the option. We have to do it on Monday, 3 to 6, because this is the time you are available. But if you think that we should do it on the same week, right, so that you have almost the same time, all the 2 sessions to do the presentation on the same time, then we have to find another day where you are free, either on week 14 or week 15. So I'll move one of the session to the same week. May I get any feedback from you? 你们有意见吗？意见吗？ Hello? Because this time there are too many groups, right? Last time I can just do it in 1 session. Last time the student number is about 20 something, 20, 30, but this is 50 over students, so our group numbers double. 有1倍的多的学生，所以我们的 presentation session 要多1倍啊。所以by week 14 should more or less we have finished our class. So week 14, week 15 we can use it for presentation. So what do you think? Okay, never mind. Then let me decide. Let me decide. No one feedback. So why not we just shift the class of the week 14. We don't have a class on week 14, but we'll use one of the days on week 15. So this one will be week 15 as well. Right? So you have enough time to prepare. Sorry. Just that which day you are freer? Can we do it on, okay, let's say we may not do it at 3. Let's say we start at 2 earlier. Can we do it on Wednesday? Tuesday I'm not free, but Wednesday I'm okay. We can do like this. Can we do this? Meaning week 14 we don't have class. Week 15 we have 2 class, right, for presentation. So Wednesday, this is 13. Or you cannot, then maybe some other days on the same week. Friday, Thursday also can. Just Tuesday I'm not free in the afternoon. Can we do this? Monday, Wednesday. Week 15. Monday and Wednesday. Or maybe Monday and Monday, Wednesday, or maybe some other time if you are not free on the Wednesday afternoon. Can you hear me or not, students? 你们有在吗？ Okay, maybe let me just announce it tentatively this way. Do you have other class on Wednesday? Wednesday afternoon? How come no one feedback? Okay. Week 15 Monday. Let me check. Oh, let me check. Oh, yeah. True. This is week 16 already. 16 already. This one should be 4. Sorry. 4 and 6. Oh, I think I put it too late. 对吗？是吗？对呀，4号。哦，4号，错了啊，我放到太迟。Okay, June okay, July okay, then like that Week 15 is already very late, almost like before final exam. I think final exam is week 16 onwards, right? Normally this week, we also have a study week, so we'll use that for our presentation, group presentation. Each group prepare for 15 minutes, 15 minutes. right? 15 minutes, 10 minutes present demo, right? Demo lah. I prefer you to demo your app. Demo rather than use slides. I talk a lot about the slides. Don't do too much of the slide because we don't have enough time. So just focus straight away, do the demo. You can do live demo, or you can do recorded demo, right? Either live or demo, live or recorded. If you have already recorded, you just play the video during the demo, about 10 minutes only. Don't present too long, right? And then 5 minutes for Q&A. That's why please, all the members, please attend the class, right? Q&A, I'll ask you, so individually, some of your team members must be there. Okay, can. So let us settle it on week 15, week 15, right? So that I also need to do marking. So for coursework related subject, we cannot, or our marking have to be settled before final. So 10 minutes demo, 5 minutes Q&A. Okay, can. Okay, so we tentatively let something really happen during that week. So should be week 15 Wednesday, week 15 Monday. And week 14, I just leave it to you to do your revision. You prepare for the presentation. Week 14, do your project. We don't need a live class on week 14. So week 14 is your preparation for the week 15 presentation, group presentation. So please prepare well before the presentation. Okay, so let's move on to the coding. Okay, for today, I'm going to touch on the last part of the navigation. Right, there is one very important, very useful navigation control that a lot of times, a lot of apps have that, which is view tab, and also view pager. Right, this was last week. Right, today we're going to touch this. You need two components put together, tab layout and also view pager. So nowadays, the latest version of view pager is view pager 2. If you don't know what is view pager, basically slide. It's like in website nowadays. Website you have a lot of like all this carousel. You can slide through. So app also, you can have. Let me show you example. Let me show you example first. Right, in a while. Yeah, where I run an example. So this afternoon we are going to do that. I know all of you are very busy with other assignment already, so let me just focus on things that is most essential for the subject. Okay, let me show you. Not this one, sorry, not this one. Okay, never mind, let me run again. The so-called the tab layout. So we'll add into the project that we did last week, the sample that we did last week. And after that, we complete it. You can use that as a sample for reference for your project. And let me run this. Okay, so let's say statistics. This is static data. It's not, there is no. Okay, this. We are going to do this and slide. Sorry, not this. Slide. Sliding. This is called tag. Let's say we want to create 2 pages. 1 pages is on statistics for Malaysia or for China or for a country. Another tab is to show statistics for another country. For example, COVID, we have a lot of statistics. You can use a cut view. This is cut view actually. Can you see that cut view? It's just a cut view. Can do multiple cut view to show some figure, statistical figure. This is static, but later when you learn how to get it from API, you can actually retrieve the value 0.98, 200,000 something from a server, right? But today we are going to learn how to do this control. This control. How can you slide using tag? Right, the one on top, the one that I click on, is called tag layout. This is called tag layout. And then the one that slide right down there, this part, that slide, actually the fragment, actually there are two fragments. The two fragments are placed inside view pager. View pager. So this, you need to know the anatomy first, the anatomy of this. So you need to combine two components. It's not just one. View pager can be used separately, right? Independent of tag. Actually, you can have view pager without tag, right? But if you combine them two, you see that effect. The one that slide down there is called view pager, and the class, the Android class that we are going to use is called view pager 2. It's the latest version. Previously, it was view pager. Now the class is view pager 2, right? So this is the slider, the one that slide, and then on top there is another class called tab layout. Right, tab layout. We combine the two, we put it together, and then it can slide. It can actually show you the tab label and also the view pager that slide. I see your mockup. Many of you have this component inside your app. Okay, let us open up our past project, the project that we did last week. The project that we did last week. Sorry. Yeah. The project that we did last week. So we have done the navigation drawer last week, and also the option menu. Option menu. We created option menu, and also we can actually control what we want to navigate to using option menu, right? Based on what user click on options item selected. This was last week, right? We created our menu option, XML, and also the bottom navigation menu. We have different menu for different component, right? Navigation drawer, you can also have your own menu for navigation drawer. So today we are going to add two more screen, actually two screen, but they are on the tab, right? Onto our, okay, let's say we convert our one of the fragment that we here, let's say home fragment, right? Our original home fragment is empty. Let me see, home fragment, XML, right? Original fragment is just a text view. So we are going to convert this to a tag with a tag on top of this screen, right? So for today, can you open up the project that we have, the sample code? Just use a sample code and then you try out, and then after that, if you know already, you can build into your project. Some of you do assignment using mobile. I do your FYP using your Android. This might be quite easy for you already. So, but many of you are still maybe new to Android. So you can download this sample code. Right, this sample code. I have added some additional. This sample code is here already actually, but I'll do it together with you. Right. Don't download this one. This one we do it first together. Download this one. Week 9, the one that we have last week. Week 9. So use this sample code first. The week 9 one to be the starter code for today. We start from here. Start from the one that we did last week. Navigation drawer. So you download this. Right, these two. So last week we did these two. So navigation drawer. Start from there. Right, so we try to achieve the effect on the home screen. Right, so you open that project using Android Studio first. Right, that project. Bottom navigation view example with option menu and also with navigation drawer done. Today we are going to add something onto the home fragment. The home fragment, right? So the home fragment, just delete the view, the scroll view. No, let me see. Just delete the entire screen, make it blank for the home fragment. Just make it blank. We want to use it to develop a tab layout and also with the view pager. Just make it blank first. Can you do that? I wait for you for a while to open the project to load it. By the way, some students face problem like when you run your what is that? Sorry. When you run the screen, right? When you run emulator, right? Sometimes you face this. The emulator process for whatever AVD you created has terminated. So you couldn't connect. Something like you are waiting for your emulator, but the emulator never show up, or your app never install onto your emulator. Emulator cannot run. Your app doesn't run on the emulator. This one also quite often I face this also. This one could be the Android Studio issue where your emulator is dead. You run it there, but your Android Studio app, right, fail to connect to the emulator and fail to actually install the app onto the emulator. So one way quick for you to settle this is normally I just use another emulator. You can always create many emulator. You may not need to always use the same emulator over and over again. And remember, emulator it's like a font, right? So you also need to clean once in a while, wipe data and something like that to clean it up. Maybe you have used it for a long time, and then there are a lot of apps that you install onto it. Then the file is large. The image of that emulator is actually an operating system. An entire Android operating system is large, right? So maybe something is happening in the so-called the memory, cannot load it. So the best solution, the fastest solution for me, I just don't use it. I use another emulator. I create another emulator and use it. Or you delete this emulator, recreate the emulator again. And then most likely you'll solve your problem. You don't have to try to find a way to restart it again and find a way to solve this. To me, it's not worthwhile for you to waste the time. Right? You just delete the emulator or you just don't use it. You use another emulator. You can create multiple emulator and use another AVD to run your app. Right? So this is what I want to bring out. Since students ask me, so sometimes, right, we do face this and just not worthwhile for you to go and find out how to solve it and things like that, right? You take too much time to just solve it. Just delete the emulator or you use another emulator. Okay, so if you want to use View Pager 2, just how I say, right? You need to add a new, so-called a new dependency into your project for View Pager 2. Right, let me give you the View Pager. Right, so we have to add this View Pager 2. Pager 2, right? Android X, latest one, View Pager. So sync your project. Right, so I put it into the chat there. You can get the text. Right, so View Pager 2. We have to sync with this in order to use the View Pager. If you want to read the documentation of it, right, always try to learn how to use something, a software tool, right, because things keep changing. So the best way for you is to keep updated, right? You don't have to remember them. You just need to know whenever you need to refer to it, where is the source, right? This is the documentation. If you are using the earlier version of the code View Pager, then there is some documentation on how to migrate to View Pager 2. Right, View Pager 2 is under Android X Jetpack, so it's the latest one. Right, View Pager 2, we use. Okay, once done, right, we want to create additional 2 fragments because when we want to display, right, 2 tab, you need actually the one that slide is actually a fragment, right? Let us create 2 more fragments, right? Home and later we are going to attach the fragment onto the home fragment. So let's just create new fragment. You go to fragments, right? Since we organize the code under fragments, we just do it under the directory fragments, new fragment. So just do 2. Create 2 empty fragment, blank fragment. A quick way is to quickly do 2 blank fragment. New fragment, blank fragment. Right, so we call them, we are going to put some statistical data, so we call it global statistics, something like that. Right, global statistics fragment. Global statistics fragment. Since the project is using Kotlin, I'll use Kotlin. But if you need to use Java, you go ahead, use Java. For this, the code is more or less similar, whether Java or Kotlin. Okay, so I created one blank fragment, global statistics fragment. Okay, let's just don't use any parameter. We just delete all the sample parameters and all this. Do a very clean fragment. Just do a clean fragment. Right, a clean fragment. Okay, the parameters remove. Right, so the parameters of this remove. It's a blank fragment. Global statistics fragment. Use the tool Android Studio to do it. So the code will be there already. Okay, so do another one. New. Go down. Fragment. Blank fragment. Fragment blank. Fragment blank. Another one, you can use any name. Will do. For me, I use Malaysia. Statistics. For example, just you can use China. You can use any. So Malaysia statistics fragment. So finish. Now another blank fragment. Blank. So I just delete all the parameters. I don't need these parameters. Right, put in your design later. So we are doing a blank one first. Let's remove all these. Blank fragment. Malaysia statistics fragment. Okay, the view of them, right? The fragment global, right? Fragment global statistics and also the fragment Malaysia statistics, the XML. Okay, so just delete the text view. We don't need the text view. Right. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you the sample code for the fragment view, right? The one with the statistics, just for today, the class. We don't have to do that ourselves, because that one is just doing some cut view, right? So let me go to my code. Okay, I'll give you that. So you just put it in. Actually, I use a scroll view to do the page to be scrollable. Later, I will give you the code. I'll show you. It's quite long. It's quite long. Let me see. Okay, this part, I just remove this. I'll use the same sample code for both screen. But for actual project, you are supposed to draw. You are supposed to draw this screen. So I'm going to, okay, some of these have color. The color, I would go to add in the color. Okay, so this scroll view, right? This so-called the layout. I use scroll view as the main parent. The scroll view will actually contain, right, inside every scroll, the entire scroll view, there are a few cut view using Android X cut view. So this cut view will contain inside there some text view. The text view will contain the statistic value, right? The title, the figure, the date and the time and so on. So there'll be some statistical data. So it's just a repetition of the card view, a few card view, one card view, another card view, and so on. Right, another card view, another card view. Right, so I create a few card view. Inside the card view, the content of the card view, I use a linear layout to organize the content. Okay, let me also have to show we have to add in a few color, because the color actually, I created a few color for the card view. So I also have to add the colors, right? The colors, red, blue, green, orange. So these few colors, in order for the sample to work. So I give you the colors also, the color value first. Let's add in a few color value, right? The color values. Add in into your colors file, colors XML file. Then once you add these color files, right, you should see this, right? Because just now it wasn't shown because the color was not there. So now as you add in the color, you can see, right, the card view with some list view, text view there, in linear layout. So this entire thing is a linear layout, right? And linear layout within a scroll view. Within a scroll view, linear layout, scroll view. So you have a linear, right? Linear layout with the entire linear layout will be scrollable, right? Using a scroll view. Okay, just a sample, so that we can show something later. Okay, so this sample for scroll view, I give you now the entire screen. You just pass it into your fragment, fragment global statistics and fragment Malaysia statistics. I'll use context to give you the code, because the code is quite long. Right, you can get the XML code from here, from this link in the chat. I put it in the chat, right? Okay, so right, so I'll just copy this also to the another fragment. Just now we created two fragments, one fragment for global, one fragment for Malaysia. This is to prepare the fragments. So we have two fragments that have similar, the same layout. So this is just for sample, a quick example, quick sample. Okay, so now let's close all the files. All the files, right? The fragments are already done, right? With one fragment is for global, one fragment is for Malaysia. Okay, so now we want to start to code, right? How to put them together, right? So in order to do it using View Pager 2, right? View Pager 2, we need to do an adapter. Remember previously when we do what is that? Recycler view. We need an adapter to adapt, right? So View Pager also the same thing. We need to have an adapter to adapt the fragment onto the View Pager, right? So first thing first, we have to also go to the main activity, the fragment home screen, right? Just now the home screen, we need to put in the layout. Okay, just now our fragment home fragment, we have this empty screen, right? Empty screen. So we want to add in the layout for that View Pager 2 to be shown. Right, so what we can do is we have to add a tab layout. Right, just now I said it's a combination of a tab layout and also a View Pager 2. So first thing is on this screen, we have to put tab layout. So tab layout is part of the material. So you don't need to add a new library. Tab layout is part of the view material, the Google material design library. It's part of this package, right? Tab layout. So you don't have to add sync with another new library, but View Pager 2 is part of this. It's an additional so-called dependency package that we need to include into the project, right? Version 1, we use the version 1, right? View Pager 2, right? But for tab layout, right? The tab is already part of the material design. So we have already included into this into the project. So what we do is we just add in this first, right? Com.example. If you cannot find it, let's say you don't know what it's at, you just type tab, so you appear. Sorry. Yeah, you just type tab layout, you appear. This one, tab layout, right? So we give it a name, give it an ID, right? Tab layout, and then match parent wrap content. The height should wrap content, the height of that tab. Now we are later in the code, we are going to create two tabs. One tab is Malaysia, one tab is global to link it to our view pager, right? So tab layout, we put it on top, right? So there will be a tab layout later on top of the fragment of the home fragment. We use one of the fragment to do this, fragment home. If you want to use activity to do this, also can. If your app mostly your screen is activity, then you do it on the activity. But for this sample code that we have done, we mostly use fragment, so use fragment. Okay, so com.google.android material tabs tab layout. So the ID is tab layout. Okay, so the view pager we also need to add in. Let me give you this. Right, so we have a tab layout done. Okay, the next thing we do is we want to add in view pager 2. Right, so view pager 2, if you have already included the so-called the dependency, you can check view pager 2 here. Yeah, one Android X already has a view pager, but for today we are going to use the latest view pager 2, which is this one. Right, view pager, just type view pager, you can find out. Right, you actually search by autocomplete, right? Search by autocomplete, you can find. This is our component that we want to add into our view. Right, so the width again is match parent. Right, the width is match parent. And then the height also we match parent. This one you have to match parent because this is the one that show the screen, right? The height. So we put match parent. Give an ID also. Again, give an ID. Right, so view pager. Okay, let's call it view pager 2. The ID. Right here, tab layout. Right, so you need these two components to be on the view, right, of your home fragment. I said the sample I use home fragment to do, right? Okay, so these two, this one. And let me give you the code. Right, so view pager 2 and also the tab layout, you must structure them properly in your layout first. Right? Okay. Okay, next thing to do, as I say just now, like recycler view, we need a adapter. Adapter is an intermediary between the data and also the view, the screen, right? Adapter. So in this case, you need to adapt the fragment to the view pager. Adapt fragment to the view pager. We have two fragments. Fragment global statistics, fragment Malaysia statistics. Right, so we need to have adapter. So adapter code is a Java class, or we in our example today I use Kotlin, but it's just a Java class. You can call it Kotlin class or Java class. So I'm going to use Kotlin, so you can click on Kotlin, new Kotlin class, right? So we call it view pager adapter. Just call it view pager adapter. It's a class, Java class or Kotlin class will do. View pager adapter. Right, it's a special adapter class that we need to write. Okay, so this view pager adapter we need to import. We need to import it from something called fragment state adapter. Because we are going to adapt fragment. So it's going to inherit fragment state adapter. fragment state adapter, import this class. Fragment state. So this is part of view pager 2. So because we are using view pager 2, that's why we need this adapter. This adapter class is called fragment state adapter. Right? So you just do this first. Right? View pager. This is a name. Just a name of a class you give it. You can call my pager adapter or something like that. But for me, I use view pager adapter. And then you inherit from fragment state adapter. Right? So you need to pass in your activity to your fragment, right? Main activity. We are going to later adapt it to, because the main activity is the main container of the fragment, right? Of the home fragment, right? So we pass in the activity, main activity, right? And we use a variable to represent your activity, So you can call, let's say FA. Here also put FA. So okay, so for this view pager 2, there are some member function, right? Member function that we need to define actually two member function. So we just add, import, implement, right? One is called get item count. One is called view pager adapter. Okay, sorry. Let me check. One is called create fragment. We need to create a fragment. So we have to call a create fragment function. Create fragment. So just leave it empty first. We are going to implement it. So I give you this code. So this is in the view pager adapter, or whatever name you give it, the pager adapter. Right? This pager adapter must implement two methods. Remember this. Normally we put this at the last. The more important one is create fragment. Create fragment and then get item count. So these two both actually inherit from these functions, actually override the function inside fragment state adapter. So for view pager 2, you need to create fragment state adapter for you to adapt the fragment accordingly. Organize the fragments to your tab later. Okay, so let us put this in to our code first. Right, so for this class, right? Any question so far? So basically, it's just a generic. If you use Java, it's a Java class. If you use Kotlin, just a Kotlin class. So for Java, also similar, just the code is in Java. It's a class, generic class. But there are two actually callback, not correct, sorry, two override method, right? Override function that you need to override the functions inside fragment state adapter. Okay, what does the first function do? Create fragment, right? The create fragment class will actually return the fragment that you want to show, right? So what we do is, okay, let me check. Okay, so the first thing is we want to check if the position of the fragment, right? Pos means position, right? Position. So I want to check if the position when, right? To check if the position, this is a switch case. We have two fragments, right? So the fragment for the position, when the position is the first position, the default by default, because we have two tabs, right? Tab 0, tab 1. So let's say we want to decide, right? If it is 0 position, first position, we want to show global or actually Malaysia. So it's up to your design, right? For this case, we have only two fragments. So what we do is we just create a so-called local first. We call it Malaysia first. So we have a fragment called Malaysia statistics fragment. So we put Malaysia statistics fragment. Dot new instance. We create a new fragment class for Malaysia. right? If the choice of the position later when your view pager, first one by default on the left, right, is Malaysia. This is how we design. And then one, right, the other side, the other position, the second tab, right, we put global. In this case, we have two fragments, so we use this global statistic dot fragment, new instance. And else, right, we have else. Right, for when we have a default case, else. Right, else we also make it as Malaysia. Yeah. Right. So this is a fragment that will return. So whatever that is our choice. Later, if it is 0, then Malaysia. 1 is different. By default, it's Malaysia. Then we return the value. Return the value from the function. Let me check what is wrong with here. Okay, let me check. Let me check the. I think the fragment code. Okay, oh, here. Sorry. Just now, the fragment code, we made the empty fragment, global statistics fragment. Forgot to delete the parameters. On the global statistic fragment and Malaysia statistics fragment, we deleted the parameters, right? But we forgot to delete the here when we create the new instance, right? The original template code, the template code actually expect two parameters to be passed when you create a new instance. But for our case, we don't need that parameters. So what we do is just delete that. Otherwise, when you call the view pager to the new instance, you expect parameter to be passed to it. So we don't need that. We just delete in the code. Delete the parameters. Delete the parameters inside the new instance function. When you create the instance, we don't pass any parameters. All right, so done. All right, so the create fragment functions will actually create the fragment according to the position. So the index start from 0. The tab, later you have tab 1, tab you have 2 or 3. You can put a few. But for this case example, we have only 2 position, left and right tab. So 0 for Malaysia, 1 for global. By default, we start with the 0. Default is this one. So this one we use switch case. In Kotlin, switch case is when. But in Java, it's switch case. You can use a switch case of if else. This one you can also do a if else. Right? Actually, 2 options, only if else. Okay, so let me give you this. All right. Okay. Okay, get items. How many items are here? How many items? Just 2, right? So just return 2. Expect integer, right? How many items? Just 2. Right? We have 1 and 2. 0, 1. So 2. Right? Just return 2. These 2 functions are overridden from the superclass fragment state adapter. So that's why you need to define them. Just need to define them. The program will work. Right? This is according to view pager 2, the documentation. Right? This is part of the class of view pager 2. Right? Fragment state adapter. So we have done the fragment state adapter. Right? A fully done fragment state adapter. Then we have to move to the home fragment. Because home fragment will be the place where we are going to adapt the 2 fragment to a tag. So this is the part that we do it, right? Because we want to do it on the home fragment. Fragment home, right? Tag layout and also the view pager 2. So I want to call the code, call the fragment state adapter to do the work on the home fragment, right? Home fragment. So the home fragment has already done just now. We have done we have put in the XML. for tab layout and also for view pager 2. One on top, one at the bottom. Right, this is on the home fragment. So we move to the home fragment code. Okay, here, the code that we are going to do is here. After we have inflated the view fragment home, right? The fragment home is actually this fragment home. So after we have inflated the fragment home, we are going to do something to adapt the tab layout and also the view pager 2. So what we do is here, because return, right? This one will return. We return the view already, right? So what we do is we modify this code, right? Instead of return straight away, we return later. Here, we change it to a variable, right, of the type view. View. So we return the inflate after we inflate the view fragment home. After we inflate the view fragment home, we return a variable. Right, we return a variable view. Right, that view we are going to return from here. Return view. Right, so view is a type. Right, this is a data type. We declare a variable of view. In Java, it's like this. Java. So, but in this case, view. Right, so the class view, the type view, and then variable view will return from view. Right, val view, right, return view. Right, inflator, inflate fragment home. Right, so view. Okay, so here is the part that we do the adapter. Okay, the code for adapter. We add in the part here. Right, so this is in the home fragment. Okay, so next thing we do, right? So we have to find the view, find the two view by ID. Right, so first thing, so tab layout just now, right? The tab layout here, this one, the tab layout. Right, we have a ID tab layout, and then the view pager 2, we have another ID view pager 2. So what we do here is we call it tab layout first. We just use the same name. Okay, so equals to find view by ID. The type is tab layout. Okay, here we cannot find view by ID directly because this is view, right? So we have to link the find view by ID to find it on the fragment home. So what we do is we have to call the find view by ID from the view. Right, this view variable is linked to this fragment home. So tab layout, right? So just import this class tab layout. Tab layout is part of the material class, Google material. Right, so this Google material tab layout. Right, so find view by ID tab layout. Right, r.id.tab layout. So the ID is tab layout. Okay, we also find another one, which is the view pager. Just now we have view pager. Find view by ID. Okay, here view dot find view by ID view pager. Okay, the type is view pager 2. Right, so this we import this class. We import this class, and then r.id.view pager 2. Right, this view pager 2 is on the home on the screen, right? On the screen, we give it an ID, which is view pager 2. So we just call it using view pager 2. Okay, so find the both the view and the tab layout and the view pager 2. Find the view pager 2 and also the tab layout on the screen. Can follow? Okay, now we want to inflate the view pager 2 now. View pager 2 is to be inflated, or we call it adapt, adapt the view pager 2 to the adapter, using the adapter. Just now the adapter class we call it view pager adapter. So we are going to do that. Huh? So adapt the view pager using the view pager adapter. Okay, so what we do is we also need to, we have already found the view pager 2, right, just now. The view pager 2, right, the screen here. Huh? So what we do now is view pager 2 dot. Okay, wait, we have to instantiate the pager first. Huh? So first of all, we need to, let me see. We have to instantiate the page, the pager, the pager adapter, the view pager adapter. Okay, so what we do is we can declare outside, declare on the outside of this function, right outside. Make it global, right? So pager adapter, fragment, state adapter, right? Nullable, now. Declare as null first because we are going to use it later. So you can do this. Okay, so this one we declare outside. I'll give you the code later, just understand first, right? So we declare, right, this pager adapter is a variable that we are going to use, right? That point to this class. So inside the code, we are going to create a new fragment state adapter. Right, we are going to instantiate a new state adapter. Right, and then this adapter is going to, let me see, this current fragment, we are going to instantiate it with, let me check. Just now the adapter. Oh, okay, I think we have to change the code a bit. It's not the activity just now, the fragment. So let's go to the view pager adapter here, the fragment. So this fragment adapter is not the activity. We are going to do it. It's not in the activity. We are going to do it inside the home fragment. Right? It's actually this home fragment. I forgot. Right? This the home fragment that we are doing. So this view pager adapter, we need to pass in the home fragment instead. Not the main activity. It's the home fragment. View pager adapter will pass in the variable that actually passing the object of the home fragment. So what happens inside here now is this fragment. Current fragment is home fragment, is the object that we pass into this fragment. Okay, how come it's not working? What is this? Let me check. Convert assignment to assignment expression. Oh, no. Okay. So okay. Pager adapter, new fragment state adapter. This supposed to work. Put this. Okay, I think here, because of this is nullable, nullable, so we have to put it. Because this home fragment just here, right? This one, right? Originally nullable, let me check. This is because of, what is that, the calling, So I think here, over here, should be nullable. Nullable. Here should be, okay, here, nullable. Here should be this, what we call it, the double exclamation, to make, if this is nullable, when we pass the variable in here, double exclamation. This is calling, for Java, there is no this issue. Okay, let me see. here. Let me see why is it this cannot create an instance of an abstract class. Okay, is it abstract? Check. This is not abstract class. Home fragment. Okay, never mind. Let's just proceed first. Huh? Okay, so fragment state adapter. Okay, then what we do is later on we need to the view pager, we need to set the adapter. So the view pager, this one, dot set adapter to this pager adapter. Okay, so set the adapter to this pager adapter. Just ignore this one first. I'm not sure why is it so. Okay, never mind. We troubleshoot this later. Why is it underline this? Cannot create an instance of an abstract class. Home fragment. Okay, let me see. Fragment state adapter. Oh, okay. Sorry. This one should be view pager adapter. It's not a class. It should be this. Lao liao. Okay, the class is the superclass is fragment state adapter, but our class is called view pager adapter. Right, it should be view pager adapter, not fragment state adapter. I don't know why I'm blur. So view pager adapter. We instantiate our OM class view pager adapter. Right? So view pager adapter. Right, so passing the current home activity. Home fragment, this fragment passing to this view pager, and then we set the view pager adapter, right, to be this pager adapter, right? So okay, let me give you this code. Right, so okay, so view pager adapter done. The pager adapter will decide which home fragment to be adapted to the view pager. The last part is on the tab layout, right? The tab layout, we haven't done anything on the tab layout. So now we need to have a special class called tab layout mediator. So we are going to write some code to show the tab layout. Tab layout, we need something called tab layout mediator class. Mediator. So you import this class, tab layout mediator, and we have to pass in the tab layout and also the view pager to this tab layout mediator. Right, so what we do is we just pass in the tab layout, which is this one, and then comma this adapter view pager, right? And then we define, right? We define some so-called we decide, we define the position. In Kotlin we can write some lambda function to actually decide the position of the tab. So we label the tab first, right? We label the tab. Lambda function, we pass in the tab here. Right? It's the input, right? And then let me see. So the tab is actually of the type tab layout dot tab. Layout. And then we passing another. This one you have two components here, right? So we also pass in the position. Position of the tab. Position is integer. So this is a lambda function. So these are the input parameters. One input parameter is the tab. Second input parameter is the position. So what we do inside, right, the lambda. So on the left is the input parameters. On the right, on the right of the function, we do it as the tab text. The tab needs to have a label, right? The text. So what we do is we define this tab as text. And okay, we need to define some array to store the so-called the label of the text. So on top here, outside of the, we can do it inside actually. It's just a local variables that we can define, right? So we will define an array, array list, array or array list, doesn't matter. So we define title for the tag, title for the tag, right? One is Malaysia, one is global. It's just an array. So this array, we want to tag these are label, whether Malaysia or global. So the tag will have Malaysia label there, global there. So that two values, all right, we pass in the values, right? So whenever we create this tag layout, we define the array for the text that we want to show on the tag. So this is on the tag. Based on the position, the first position is 0, the second position 1. Right, just now in the view page we have 0 and 1. If it is 0, then Malaysia, 1 global. So the tag there also same. We will label it as Malaysia and global. So these two. And then finally we attach. We call this function. This is called chaining. Chaining function. So this we all write in one. We don't have to declare a variable for tag layout mediator. We can chain all the functions together. So we just attach layout with view pager. This part is to define the label for your tag layout. View pager, we have done it inside the view pager adapter. So dot attach. That's finally we have to attach them. Okay, so I'll give you this part of the code. So this is to combine display tabs and mediate the tag layout with the view pager. Right, or more or less done. Right, more or less done. Okay, so we can try, we can test the code now. See whether it works or not. So the home fragment will contain a tag and a view pager too. So let's look at the emulator. Not this one, the sample. The one that I'm running is compiling now. Right, it's compiling. Okay, so you run. Okay, let's see the effect of it. Of what we have done. You'll be on the home fragment. Right, you'll be on the home fragment. Right, on the home fragment. Home. Yes, done. Malaysia global. Right, profile empty, scan also empty. Home, we have a tab. Two tabs. Two tabs. Malaysia global. This Malaysia and global are actually from this title. The titles, we create an array to store the titles, right? And we attach the tag, the titles to the titles string, right? We assign it to the tab, right? The tab is actually the component under your tab layout, the tab layout. So the tab layout text will be the titles, and then we attach the view pager to the tab layout. So what happens here is when you run, right? So it's a view pager, so you can slide. You can slide or you can click, you can tap on the global and Malaysia, you actually right slide. So this is how you do the view pager. This is one example of how you can apply it in many ways, but this is just one example of how to use it. So let me summarize. There are two components here: tab layout and also view pager 2. View pager 2. And on the layout side, you need to put the layout one after another. If you put this behind the view pager 2, you'll see it at the back, right? But this is on top, should be at the top normally, right? So do this layout first, and then you have to design a view pager adapter, so-called the inherit from the fragment state adapter. Let me see whether we need this or not. Maybe we don't need to make it nullable. I think most likely it works the same. Let's see, should work the same. As I said just now, if your emulator is dead, you cannot successfully install your app onto the emulator. Just use another emulator. Right? You just switch to another emulator. It should work. Normally that's what I do. Okay, it works. So it's the same. Hey, sorry, not this one, not this one. Sorry, it's still running, it's still launching. Yeah. Okay, so it works. So okay, so let's have a short break, and this code I can give you. All right, I can give you this code. You can have a look. Play around with it. Let's have a short break of maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Then after that, we continue again. And let me zip this code and give it to you. Okay, hold on, let me see. I forgot which project already. Okay, let me check. This one is under this one. Okay, let me close this one first. I give you this code, and then you can try out. If you face any problem, let me know. Hold on, give me a while. Let me zip it. Right, so I send it to you. Okay, so this sample code. I will upload one copy to Moodle. Right, so I hope you understand how to do a view pager 2. So in summary, let me just summarize again. Okay, you need to have, for this, on the dependency side, on build.creator, you need to add a dependency for view pager 2. In the sample code you can find it. Okay, and then on the layout for your screen that you want to display the fragment. Okay, create the fragments. for the view pager, right? You want to display how many fragments? It's up to you. Currently, the sample we have 2 fragments only, and then this is the first step, and then you need to have the fragments. So create fragment as you do for other project, right? So you can do fragment as you like, the design and so on, and then you have to create a something called pager adapter, right? Inherit from the class fragment state adapter. This is part of view pager 2 class. So view pager adapter class. Inside there are 2 member class. One is create fragment, override create fragment function, and override, if not mistaken, you need to override the create fragment function and get item counts, right? Get item counts. Get item count and create fragment function. And you go to your layout for the activity or fragment that you want to display the tag that you want to display the tag and view pager. So you have to add in the tag, the XML for view pager 2 and also the tag layout. You need to add that in. And then lastly, you go to your so-called the activity or fragment, the container, the main container activity or fragment that contains the tag and view pager 2. Then you need to add in so-called the code for you to mediate the two components, tag layout and also view pager 2. Pass in these two into your tab layout mediator, right? Something like what we did just now. Tab layout. Let me show you again. You have to add in this code. You have to add in this code. So the array, create an array or array list or list to contain the values you want to label the tag, and then you use tag layout mediator to mediate them together. Right? So this one. Any question? Any question to do this? Right? If not, then let's have a short break. Short break. Okay, so these are the 5 summary of what you can do. Summarize steps. The code is already given. You can refer to the code, cross-check the code. Then you know how to do. Okay, let's have a short break, 5 minutes break. And after that, we continue again. Thank you. Right, students. Okay, just now we have done the one of the fragment with this. Okay, I haven't taught you how to go from one of the fragment to another fragment. Currently, we rely on the external control, for example, the bottom navigation view, right, to navigate between your fragment, in between your fragment, between, let's say, scan and profile, right? Between your scan profile, you need to have a bottom navigation view, or maybe you need to click on your option menu, right, to navigate there. So there is also a way for us to navigate between fragment, from fragment to fragment. So using jetpack navigation, using jetpack navigation, actually quite easy. Okay, I show you. Because now we have constructed a navigation graph. If you look at here, navigation graph. In this example, simple example, with only 3 fragments, 1, 2, 3. So we have only 3 fragments that we created in the navigation graph, but we didn't construct any linkage between them. We don't link them together, right? They are just separate. They just exist as a separate fragment, right? But actually, there's a way to actually link them together using action. Now, action, A-C-T-I-O-N, action. So very simple. You just link. Let's say you want to link between scan to profile. Let's say I just try. Right, you can actually link it using, and then you want to link it back. Let's say let's say these 2 screens. We just want to link. Let's say I'll demo to you how to do that. Okay, so you can use the visual tool under the navigation graph. This is a navigation graph. You just open under navigation, right? Under your navigation, XML is XML navigation graph. Right, this is jetpack navigation, very modern, modern way to do it. Okay, you can link them together here. So by adding that link, let's say you want to go, let's say there's a button. You can create a button or any control here on the scan fragment to click on it, and then you can go to the profile. And then the other way, you can also add some code from the profile, go back to the scan, right? But first you must create this so-called the link, the arrow. You want to tell the code where you want to go from scan to profile, from profile back to scan, for example. So in the code, if you link this inside navigation graph, you just link it using the arrow. You can see in the code, you add an action. You add an action. Action scan to profile 2. Here, the other way around, from the profile to the scan is action profile to scan 2. This is added, so you can rename. Maybe you want to name it scan or profile. It's up to you. But this name always follow the convention given, the template generated. The destination they already create for you. This is just an ID for the action. Every action must have an ID. So this ID, normally when you draw it, you generate for you. So you state the source and the destination. Source is actually fragment from this scan to profile, right? The other way around, from profile, right? Action from profile to scan. So how do we make it work? Okay, let's do an experiment. Let's do an experiment. Okay, let's go to the scan screen and also the profile screen. We just need to add in the button we test. We test only. So you can replace the button with anything else later in the future. If you want to link, right, you can put an image view, you can put a button, you can put a text view, anything that can click and then to trigger the action. Okay, let's go to the scan fragment. Scan fragment, right? It's an empty screen, right? Scan. Let us just add a on-click listener to the text view. This text view, right? Give it an ID. This text view that we have, the scan. The scan, we just add in an ID. We just do a testing. It click and then can we go to the screen from one screen to the other or not? Okay, ID. This one we call it scan text view scan. Just give it an ID, text view scan. Similarly, we go to the other screen, the profile, right? The fragment profile screen, this profile, we also add in an ID. Let's add in an ID. TV profile. Once you understand this, you can apply anywhere you like, as long as you can trigger the navigation graph, this action, and this action using code. In a while, I'm going to write the code. Trigger this action and trigger this action. You actually navigate to that, navigate to that fragment. Okay, so what we do is now we have the action done, defined, and then here we have a text view, right? TV scan and also profile. Right, the text view, TV profile. So let's go to the fragment code, right? So we go from fragment scan to go to the scan fragment. We want to go from scan fragment to the profile fragment first. All right, we want to add in some code to go from the scan fragment to the profile fragment. Let me close some program first. My computer is running a bit slow now. Okay. Okay, so let's add in on-click listener. On-click listener. So here, inside the code, right? Here, this part. Once we inflate the fragment scan, what we do is, like just now, right? We assign the inflated view to a variable view, and then we return the view. This one expect to return the view. So return the view. Okay, here, in between here, right? So we declare a listener. So we find the view by ID, which is the text view, right? Just now text view scan equals to find find view by ID, our.id dot TV scan. This one. Okay, how come? Oh, okay, the type. You have to define the type, text view. So we want to find the text view. The text view, right? Okay, so import this text view. All right, text view. Find view by ID, text view. So what we do is TV scan set on click listener. So when the TV scan view is click. Okay, what we do is now, this is the crucial part. The crucial part is we can declare a so-called the action. Something called action. We can declare an action. Right? Action is we want to link the code here to this action. Now we want to go from fragment scan to fragment. The destination is profile. Go from scan to profile. So we want to trigger this action scan to profile. So we can declare a action object, right? Declare an action object. So this is fragment to, let me see. Fragment, oh no, sorry, not fragment 2. Okay, this is scan fragment, fragment scan, fragment scan direction. Okay, how come it's not working? Fragment. Yeah, fragment scan direction. We have to import. Okay, no. See, see how to link to it. Let me see the code. This one is we have to follow that so-called let me see, directions S. There's an S here. Scan fragment directions. Yeah. Okay, should be scan fragment direction. No. See how to link to it. Because in the code, action fragment. If we call the fragment to be fragment 1, fragment 2, then you use the fragment name, fragment 2. Okay, so this one is, we are calling it scan fragment directions. Let me see whether can or not, this way. Okay, and then dot, this is using Jetpack, dot action. Okay, let me see, frag action, this action is actually action scan to profile. Okay, action scan to profile. How to link, let me see. It works in my other project. Let me see. Actually, I need to. Okay, this class first. Navigation, Android X controller. Let me check. Why is it not working? Okay. Jetpack. Oh, okay. Understand already. Have to add a plugin. Have to add in this plugin in the build.creator. This plugin. Have to add in this plugin for Kotlin, Android X navigation, set argument Kotlin. Right. This one will link the code with the layout for navigation. Just to let you know, need to add in this. So let me this. Go to your build.creator module level plugins, ID, Android X navigation, set argument Kotlin. Okay, wait. Okay, so I think additional code need to be there. Let me check. Okay, need to add in the. Okay, need to add in additional, a few more, so-called the few more dependency, inside here. Okay, let me check. This one already have. This one already have. This right dynamic feature fragment. This dependency. So under Jetpack navigation component, this dependency is needed. I will give you the sample code later, just to let you know. Right, this actually will enable your code, right? Your fragment. You can navigate between your fragment using the new feature. This is under Android X, Jetpack. Okay, so these two. You need this ID to be in the plugin. Put the ID in the plugin. Write this ID to be in the plugin. Right, and then here, this dependency, additional dependency. Okay, let me check anything I miss out. Line 4 was not found in any of my forms. Sorry, let me answer a form. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, wait. Let me see. I think I miss out. This is not Android X navigation self argument. Check. Okay, this one new things are always like first time we use. Forgot already where to add. We need to add. Oh, okay. On the project level, project level. Oh, okay, this one. On the project level dependency, that is a module level. Module level dependency. Module level dependency, we add this. Project level dependency, we add module level. This is module level dependency. Project level dependency. This one. We need to add this to the project level. Project level dependency, we need to add to with this. Okay, let me see. Class path. Check the class path. Okay, how come the latest this one doesn't have the class path already? Okay, never mind. Let me find out first. Because this latest creator, the class path is not there. Let me just. This one we don't. This one don't need. Must appear before any plugins. Okay, this one plugins put it at the. Should work, So we just need to configure first, to be able to do Jetpack navigation. Okay, wait. Android X navigation save argument. Let it sync first. Okay, so this one we add this ID to the plugin in the module level, and then on the project level build.creator, right? We need to add this dependency class path. Okay, done. Huh? Okay, sync. Okay, later I'll give you this sample code, just to let you know this part. Add in the class path, add into the project level build.grader, and then the grader, the plugin, right, on the module level plugin, add in this, right, save argument, right, and then here in the module level dependency, have to add in this Android X navigation dynamic feature fragment. Okay, let's see now can we actually that directions. Okay, still cannot do. Okay, let me just sync again. See, sure. Okay, sync already. Let me try again here. Convention have on action. Okay, here have to have action. Oh, scan fragment, not fragment scanner. Scan fragments. Should be scan fragments direction. And then here, okay, so now can access already, this variable. This class, right? You don't see the import, right? Because it works based on this build, right? The build.grader just now. Here, I add in this one. This dependency in the project level build script must have this class path. And then in the module level, I add in this, right? This dependency, module level dependency here, right? Module level dependency, Android X navigation, navigation dynamic feature. And then Android X navigation dynamic features, fragment. Okay, and then here also, right, add in the plugin, Android X navigation, set argument.kotlin. And then now you see in the code magically, magically it has this. This is linked to actually the navigation graph, the navigation graph, this file, navigation file path. So here in the navigation graph, right, there is this action. Right, I want to trigger this action. This action from here to here. Right, this action. So in the code, actually can access this variable dot right action. I can trigger this action scan to profile. This function action scan to profile will trigger this navigation graph. This navigation graph. Scan to profile. Action scan to profile. Right, so action scan to profile. Okay, so now we want to trigger. We want to navigate, right? So we want to trigger this function. So we must use the navigation control. So we import this. Right, nav controller we have done before using the bottom navigation view. Last time we also used a lot of this nav controller, right? Using here, show you. Okay, nav controller, navigate. How we use it? So here we use it like nav find nav controller dot navigate. Now we want to find the navigation controller, and then we navigate to where? We navigate to this action. We just pass in this action. We don't have to tell the destination because the destination already defined inside the fragment. Inside this fragment, the action, we already know the destination is profile from scan to profile. So what we do is in the code, we just need to navigate to trigger the action. Okay, you see. So now we can run with test. Right, I trigger that action first. Okay, I click on the text view, you actually go to the other fragment, right? So on the this is on the scan fragment. Oh, it's a bit slower currently, so I think it's building from scratch. Here we are, still building. Okay, this is the last one already for today. So let me show you because I think it's my responsibility also to let you know. So now Android X Jetpack is quite a new way. A lot of things are done in a new way. So previously, a lot of work are done using Fragment Manager. That is the old way, but still I have sample code for fragment, moving between fragment using Fragment Manager. I can upload the sample code, the old way to Moodle also later. You can refer to that. When you do the project, you can still apply the old way if you want to go between fragment to fragment. But this is a new way that make use of the navigation graph, right? Navigation graph to perform the action between screen between your fragment. Okay, so it's a bit slow. Let me show you. Okay, still building, very slow. Probably because I'm adding some new class into the project. Just now. Yeah, he has to actually download this plugin. Almost done. on, so so slow. Okay, almost done. Because new dependencies are added to the project. Normally, after new dependency, the compilation we have to, when you build again, you take longer. Later, the second time when I run, it should be slow, faster. Okay, build already. Logging. All right, you see, so the action is go from scan to profile, right? I don't click on any other menu. I click on this text view. Just now I put the action to be on click, right? This is just to test, So you see here, I created just now a trigger an action when the text view is being clicked, right? So what I do now is I click, right? So it actually navigate. Now I click, right? I go back again. I click on scan, right? It navigate to profile. But how it navigates, it actually basically just use this nav controller, navigate this action from scan to profile action. Right? Let me repeat the same thing again on profile fragment. You go back, right? Just now in the navigation graph also, navigation graph here, right? I also do a action, right? This action from profile back to scan, from profile to scan, right? So I want to trigger this action to go from profile to scan. So what I do here is I go back to the code, right? The profile fragment, right? Again, right? I add in the code to do that. Add in the code to do that. Okay, fragment profile, right? Fragment profile, view, right? View fragment profile. So what I do is I do the same like just now the scan fragment, right? I trigger the action based on the view. Just now the fragment profile, there's a view, right? This text view profile. This text view profile, I'm going to use it inside my code. Find view by ID. Okay, I try to find the view, text view, and then r.id dot text view profile. The text view profile dot. Okay, no, wait. Just now, right? So same like this, right? I want to create a set on click listener. Set on click listener. This view set on click. So what happened is val action equals to So the direction, okay, again, we want to find the directions. So now the direction is under profile, profile to scan. Profile direction. So we are on the profile fragment. So profile fragment direction dot action. Look for that action. Profile to scan. So how can this magically comes up due to the gradle that we built? This class you link together directly. You don't have to actually think of how come there is an action. This action is actually this in the navigation graph. Navigation graph. You have this action. Action profile. Profile is a source. Scan is the destination. So in the code, right, you can access that action. And then what you do is you find nav controller, right? Dot navigate. Navigate to that action. Right, this action. Right, so let's try again. Okay, let's wait for a while. It's actually running. Okay, so now, okay, no, still running. Okay, haven't installed the latest version. Launching. Okay. Okay, see what happens when we click on the profile screen, profile, the text view. Launching. Okay, you see, I click on scan, it will go from scan to profile. Right, so when I click on profile to scan, profile, you will also go back to scan based on the navigation graph. Yeah, this action. Right, based on this action, right, the one that I draw just now, this one. So when I click on the profile, right, go back to scan. So this is between different fragment, different screen. You can also, this is just an example. I set an on-click event. You can do anything. You can click a button. You can have something that people type something or something like that. Then you trigger the action to go. Okay, so other than navigation using menu, right? Menu is a conventional way, or bottom menu, option menu, or navigation menu, right? Navigation menu. You also have this option of going from one screen to other using action that is between your screen. Action. Okay, so any question on this? Understand? Understand? You get the concept, right? So when you want to implement this sample code, I can give you. You can just follow the way how it is. It is there. That I do it just now. Any question on this? This is navigation. So this is a bit like some new method. New method. Using this is a class that actually magically you can access it because of you don't even import any class, right? This one. So this is due to you adding the class path. This one, right? In the project level, build.gradle, and also you add in this plugin. In the plugin in the module level plugin, and also build.gradle, and also here, these three. But actually this one, add in this additional class dependency. Then you work. Okay, so any question? Any question for this week? Okay, let us just summarize again. Our navigation done. Next week, we are going to do database. I will do the room database first next week. Room database. So this week, we have done this tab layout with view pager 2 just now in the first session before the short break. And after that, I also add in one more. Jetpack navigation between fragments. Navigation between fragments, which is the one that I just showed you. So you have full set of tools for you to use for navigation. Enough for you to do most of the navigation purpose that you want to do. Okay, maybe you hold on for a while. Let me show you another sample of how you can do also using traditional, conventional fragment, navigation between fragment. I show you one example. But this one, I'm not going to code it. So because the project is done, I just show you how it works. This one, this is using conventional so-called fragment, meaning the old style, not the Android X style. Android X Jetpack is a new one. Okay, let me show you. Let it sink for a while. I show you. This project I can put on Moodle also, you can see. Right, it's still valid. It's still a valid way to navigate using Fragment Manager, and you trigger fragment transaction. Fragment Manager and trigger fragment transaction. So Fragment Manager and fragment transaction. So the code is basically here using Fragment Manager. Fragment Manager, and then trigger a fragment transaction. Fragment Manager FM, you variable, let's say you declare a Fragment Manager, and then you actually trigger a transaction, fragment transaction, begin transaction. Right, Fragment Manager, begin transaction. Right, and then the transaction, what you do is just replace. So you need to, wherever you want to show your fragment, net layout. Right, for this Fragment Manager, normally people use fragment layout, frame layout. Frame layout. Here, anywhere that you want the fragment to show, frame layout. If you use Fragment Manager, right, Fragment Manager, replace the fragment layout with frame layout with your fragment. So here I write it's return one function to pass in the fragment. Actually, basically you just pass in your object of your fragment, and then after that commit. Right, so this way, right, you can also run the fragment. Okay, let me show you. Okay, let me run this sample. Right, this one is just with two fragments, right? One activity. So the activity code is the container. Activity contain the fragment, frame layout, and then the fragment is just two independent fragments. In this case, just fragment with very simple design. Very simple design. So what is do the fragment changes is actually the Fragment Manager and also the fragment transaction. So this function load fragment, whenever the button, there are two buttons in this example. One button is called first fragment button. Another button is second fragment button. This is in Java, but in Kotlin it's the same. Okay, so fragment, first fragment. This one you don't have to import any special kind of grader. You don't have to special kind of fragment, special kind of grader dependency. You don't need anything. It's not Jetpack, this one. So it's the traditional way of when something is clicked. Let's say in this example, first fragment button is clicked. So what we do is just pass in a fragment to the load fragment function. Load fragment is a user-defined function. Right? Basically, load fragment basically just trigger the fragment manager and then trigger a transaction. And then that transaction, the key is this: replace the frame layout with something else, with a fragment that you pass to it, and also commit. The changes will only happen when you commit. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see what happens. So this can be used when you have many like button. Let's say you have a dashboard, dashboard with your button. Let's say this is just a very simple way of doing showing button, but you can have your button that is very fancy with images, image view or image button, right? You can do a card view that can click card view of your menu. And you can click first fragment, you will show first fragment, second fragment. Right, you see? So it doesn't reload the entire activity because the activity doesn't change. The activity is the container. So only the frame layout will change. The activity has other thing here up. You have up there are two buttons, right? And then there's a frame layout. Only the frame layout part will change because the replacement, the replace, right? So you just replace the fragment, the part that you want to change, the fragment. So you can see the only the fragment change. First, second, right? The fragment change. If you click on this, whatever you do in the fragment is up to you. The action and so on is independent of your activity. So your activity basically just change the frame layout to the fragment that you want to display. So you don't have to refresh the entire screen. The screen is still there. It's only the frame layout that changed. This is the traditional way of doing fragment. Previously, before Android X. The Android X, more modern, they have navigation graph to define that. As an architecture, Jetpack or Android X is actually architectural component. We use the entire app architecture, like the navigation graph is part of the architecture. But this is still working. This is still a valid method to do that. So I give you this sample code also. You can try out. Right? You help you with doing your assignment. Maybe some part of your navigation you want to make it simple. You don't need the navigation graph. You can also define using fragment manager. Just these 4 lines. This line, this line, this line, and this line will actually work. But of course, your view, you must have a frame layout there for the part you want to change. Okay. So today we have done 3 different things today. So let me just summarize again the navigation graph and navigation mind map. So here one more. Just now I add in. For fragment, I'm talking about fragment, navigation between fragment. Okay, so one way is using Jetpack. The project I'll give you later. And one way is using fragment manager. And fragment transaction. You trigger a fragment manager and fragment transaction. Okay, these two. And that layout just now earlier. Right. So thank you for your attention for this afternoon. Give me a while. I pass you the code for you to refer to for your work. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask me even after class. Okay, let me just give you in a while. Give me a while. Let me give you a copy of this. Right, so for coding, it's very flexible. A lot of actually there is no just one fixed method to do all the thing. So be flexible always. Right, just bear in mind. There is no textbook that can teach you all the method to do one project. It's always you have to refer here and there, and you have to also ask somebody, refer to some sample, check on the Stack Overflow if you face problem, right? Because most likely whatever problem that you face, there will be someone out there that have already encountered it before, and someone have already asked much earlier than you, asked about the same question. so you definitely the problem is sometimes you don't know the problem, right? You don't, when you don't know, you are not aware of what problem you are facing, then that is the issue. When you know what is the issue already, you can go the right direction. But when you don't know, you make assumption. So the problem is when you don't know what problem, actually you get some error, some mistake, error that your program cannot run according to what you want. You don't know actually what to find. That is the issue. Then at that time, you need to consult someone who may be more experienced than you. In this case, you can ask me. Maybe I don't know also. A lot of times also I don't know everything. But because I'm more experienced than you, I've done something related before. Maybe I can help you to guide you in the right direction to find your source of the problem. And then by knowing the source of the problem, then only you can find the solution. If you are moving in the wrong direction, you cannot, no matter how you solve, you cannot find the solution. You must know where actually this problem is caused by what, the reason of it. You know the source, 原因. When you know the source already, then only there's a way for you to do the right search of solution. Even on Stack Overflow, right? If you don't know your problem at all, it's very hard for you to find solution at all, right? Because you don't even know what to search for. So fragment, okay, I'll give you another example. Fragment. Next week, we are going to move into data persistence. The last 3 weeks, we are going to focus on that. Data, how to keep data locally using Room, how to keep data remotely, maybe using retrofit. We use retrofit to pull data from remote. Right? Those are the things that we want to focus in the last few weeks of the semester before the final submission. But you have to move faster than me. But what I prepare you is good enough for you to finish assignment 2 and submit by next Monday, right? The latest. It's good enough for you to finish your assignment 2 already, all the things that we have gone through. But not assignment 3, assignment 2. Right, assignment 2, you should be able to finish. Okay, next Monday, 6th of June, in Malaysia, in the Xiamen campus in Malaysia, it is supposed to be another public holiday. So many Monday public holiday, but For me, I'm not going to change the class because I think this public holiday is not that critical for us. Some of you may already know that next 6th of June is a public holiday due to, I think due to the king birthday, the state king, the Sultan birthday in Selangor. If not mistaken, it's a public holiday also, June, 6th of June, Monday, next Monday. So we are not going to cancel class. We're going to just go on as usual. So I will just go on as usual next Monday, 3 to 6. We are not going to shift the class. Just do it as usual. So if you have problem attending the class on the 6th of June, let me know. Right? There will be recording also made available to you. So you can always watch the recording. Any question before we adjourn? Today we'll adjourn on time, not to be late. Any question? Anything you want to ask to make sure? Not just the class today, but also for other matters related to the class, related to the subject. Do you have anything to ask? Okay, I'll make available all the recording in a while on the Moodle and also the source code. You can refer to Moodle to get all the latest class code that we have done. Okay, so anything to ask? Right, if there is no question, then thank you very much for attending the class today. The attendance is about full for today. Thank you very much for that. And I will see you again next Monday, 6th of June. We'll go on, the class will go on as usual. Go on as usual. So see you next Monday. So take care. Okay, bye-bye. Take care. Anything you want to ask? Okay, if not, then I will see you next Monday. So I'll end the meeting. So next Monday we'll see you again. If anything you want to ask, you feel free to message me, email me. Okay, thank you.